Okay. Welcome, welcome, once again, to Meatballcraft Dimensional Ascension. Mary Poppins edition, apparently. So, today, we will be talking about magic, and we will be fighting a Shoggoth, probably, and likely dying to a Shoggoth, and then raging as I lose all of my items to a Shoggoth, because that's how Shoggoths work. I'll explain momentarily. But first, let us begin. I have some things to show you real quick before we dive in. How have you been? How's things? Y'all doing all right out there? You still alive? Still hanging in there? Well, I'm not. I'm dead. I died in the war, and you need to let it go, okay? You need to let me go. Also, I've been a bit of a dingus about eggs, and I'll show you when we load into the world. Okay, here we go. Where are we? Underground is where we are. Welcome to my room. Let it load. It's calming down. It's got a... There we go. I jutted the fireplace out a little bit. Unfortunately, these weathered bricks don't quite match the vanilla stone stair bricks, but it's close enough. I quite like this aesthetic. I think this looks nice. I think that's probably going to be the final form of my fireplace, at least for now. There's a little bit of lag. I'm not sure what to do about that. Y'all are seeing that too, right? There's just the tiniest bit of... Hang on. If I turn off, like, everything... What else is open? Close all that. Close all that. Get rid of all that. A little bit smoother? Not really. We're largely the same. That kind of sucks. Maybe it'll stabilize in a moment. I'm not sure what's causing the lag. There's been a bit of lag on and off stream now. I'm not sure what's changed. It's not like I have huge amounts of automation stood up or anything. I don't really know what would be causing it, but that's fine. As long as it doesn't get too bad, it'll probably even out eventually. Let's go ahead and put all of these building blocks back in my decorative stuff. Okay, so first of all, let me show you this. We'll go outside for this because it'll be easier. Is it night? It's night. Let me sleep. So we don't get jumped by zombies. I also added stone bricks in each of the four corners, as you can see, just one block of it to help it jut out a bit. I'm not sure if I'll put oak wood pillars here or if I'll just leave it jutting out like a shelf, but I will put something there. We'll see. Anyway, I have extended the extra utilities 2 capacity, and it now lets me do this, which is to just take off and fly. There are limits to that, however, as you can see, and I'll show you. You see how there's a bar down there? Today's a big day. Oh, we're getting invaded by giants. You see that bar above my hunger and my armor? Today's a big day is slightly blocking it, but you see how it's going up and down like that, the bar? So that's my propulsion for it. It has a limited degree. It's not infinite. It has to recharge over time. Okay, and that is... The Ring of the Flying Squid, jet propulsion at your fingertips, uses 16 GP, grid power 16 out of 114.67. So this is the grid setup I'm currently using, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 water mills. And the idea is water mills produce GP and when flowing water is next to them. And the higher the level of flowing water, which is the closer it is to the source block, the more GP they generate. So what this is essentially a pattern where each of them, it's arranged so that they have the highest level next to them. It's a little bit hard to show. Let me do this actually so I can remake this in a moment. Let me just do this. I'll take this down and show it to you and then put it back so you can see it. I want to demonstrate exactly what is happening here. There we go. So basically, whoa! Oh, that's right, because they, because I'm a high enough level now, they now will just straight up attack me instead of ignoring me. I forget about that. Where is my wand? There it is. Get out of here, nerd. I'm trying to do a demonstration. Excuse me, sir. You're being very rude. Anyway, the way this works is essentially you put a source block here. Are you kidding me? This is exactly why I'm going to have to move this indoors, because I think what I'm going to do, that water fixture I have in between my two stairways, I think I'm going to remove that and put this in the floor there instead. Is there anybody else who's going to jump me while I'm out here in my own lawn? No, we're good? Okay. Basically, the way this works is you put a source block here and here. You put a source block here. Here. Here, here. Here. Here, here. Here. And then here, here. Okay. And I can't fly anymore because I no longer have that power because I just killed all my GP. But this is what it looks like, okay? Each of those cobblestones is a source block, okay? And what doing this makes it do is that way each of the things has the highest level of flowing water that it can on all of its sides is the goal of this shape, okay? And I believe you can expand it out further if you want, but there's diminishing returns as it is with all of these. Essentially, the value of this setup is if you combine this setup with the Ender Dragon egg that you can get. So this is 100 to get you started, and then the 500 from one Ender Dragon egg. You probably won't need any more grid power beyond that. That's probably sufficient. Okay, we're going to go ahead and restart this a little bit. Turn this back on. Just wanted to show you in case anybody wants to copy this. This isn't my design. This is an old design from this mod. Like, this is widely known. You can find wikis on the internet talking about this and showing it off and explaining how this works, but it's not my design. I'm not taking credit for it. But this is essentially what is generally agreed upon as one of the most efficient ways to get 100 plus grid power real quick, just to help. Okay, and there we go. And then we take 4 more and do this. We'll be getting into some magic today. I wanted to show it on screen. We can now fly again. That raven is playing with water. I want to show off some magic because we were able to make some pure Certus crystal, some pure Fluix crystals. And that is nice that I was able to do that, and that was what was blocking us from doing, are you the one? No, you're not the one. You're the one. It is here. Okay. Let me just walk away from that, that's fine. Anyway, this essentially allows me near infinite vertical movement as long as I have the fuel for it, which combined with the hang glider makes it really easy to travel places. However, I will mention something that's really important. In a lot of the documentation I've looked up for the squid ring, for extra utilities too, it says the squid ring also prevents falling damage. That is a blatant and bald-faced lie. Do not believe that. It does not prevent fall damage. It does not have... That's 2 king crabs at once. I'm sorry, I need to go kill them for their pearls. But it does not have any kind of fall damage. It's not going to save you from dying of a fall. So you have to finesse it, okay? You can't... That may have been an older version that people are remembering or that people are talking about, but in whatever version this is, squid does not give you fall protection. It does not. Oh, they despawned already. Man. It's so weird why stuff in this pack, I don't know if it's this version of Minecraft or if it's something in this pack that's like aggressively trying to save on memory by cleaning things, but you see an enemy and then by the time you get there they despawn. Anyway, I'm not sure what it is that why they would say that it gives immunity to fall damage. It does not, though. I'm telling you it doesn't. In fact, I'll show you. Check this out. That should be high enough. Ow. See? It hurts. It does not protect against fall damage. Now, we can craft feather falling by making those jet thrusters that we saw in the quest book, which I have done. I believe I made 4 of them, But I haven't equipped them to my legs yet for 2 reasons. The first reason is I'm not entirely sure. Did I only get 3 from trimming all of you guys? No, there's another stack of it over here. I was going to say, how did I get 3 wool from 4 sheep? That's a rip-off among rip-offs. Anyway, let's talk about magic and Shoggoths, because that's what we are here to do today. This is what I mean, is I'm thinking about removing this fixture and then embedding that thing into the floor here. Mostly because not only would it make it indoors, and I think it would look pretty cool as a fixture if I dressed it up, but also because claiming chunks causes lag. I've claimed some chunks. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and unload these chunks. I was hoping that it would cause the Shoggoths to eventually despawn and run themselves dry. It doesn't seem to be working. But you'll notice that I have to chunk load this area because this is where that thing is. If you don't chunk load the area, by the way, that your generators for your grid power are, then when you get far enough away that they unload, you lose your grid power. So you'll be squid flying across the ocean, and then it'll immediately cut and dump you into the sea. So if I move it in here into my base, it's less of a cost. Like this square I'm standing in is already chunk loaded. Right, it reduces the number of chunks I have to load. I would just have to load maybe this one, and this one. It would save me some space and time. But let's go downstairs and let's talk about some things. And then let's go find some real big trouble, because that is certainly what ignore the giant grinder in the corner. I'll explain that in a minute. That's certainly what fighting Shoggoths is it's trouble. Okay. Magic. Actually, let me drop this off first. We're getting close to being able to do stuff with Mystic Agriculture, all these Inferium seeds and Prosperity shards we've been collecting. We're going to get there in a minute. We're almost there. Okay. All right. I've got some new stuff on the ground here, like this, Crystal Growth Accelerators, and this, the Extended Crafting Pedestal and Core, and some other things that I can show you. But for now, let's check the book. Okay, so I accidentally picked up one of these explosive idols. I'm still not sure exactly what it does. Unstable if thrown, filled with... Do you, like, throw this to summon the King Bam Bam Bam? Is that how this works? Is it... Because this like, Advent of Ascension adds a ton of bosses, but I don't know how any of them work. Like, I have some of these. Explosive Idol, filled with the spirit of King Bam Bam Bam, Baron of Explosives. Unstable if thrown. Does that mean that it's a bomb if you throw it, or does it mean it summons King Bam Bam if you throw it? King BBB as opposed to DDD. He's a knockoff of King DDD. He's King BBB. I don't know. Like, we'll try that later, maybe. But a lot of this stuff is essentially telling you different fights you can get involved in. There's this thing about Spooky Wood, which I found. Like, it's a haunted tree in the woods. It's just a special, like, thing that appears. But it implies that you can make some kind of deal with the devil, but the haunted logs don't seem to be usable for anything. And the next thing after it is this Wildroot Staff from Leshen, but I don't know how you make it. It doesn't appear to be craftable. I assume this is later. Anyway, digital matter. The manufacturing ability I've recently discovered has allowed me to produce flux, which makes it possible to easily transition between matter and energy. This should be very useful for storage and item management. The knowledge of this science is hidden in asteroids, which were once part of the belt around Terra. It seems like they were used to hide information about flux in a place unreachable by most, no matter how powerful. Fortunately for me, some of those asteroids made it back down. And by making a pure flux crystal, by the way, I made several. I made, like, how many did we make? I made 60. Right? But the quest also gives you, this is one of the few quests that gives you a reward. We get 32 flux crystal just for completing that quest. Okay, so now we have even more. We have a stack and a half of them. And I just want to show you how this works. So I didn't quite realize how this worked at first. I educated myself and realized what I was doing wrong. Flux. So what you do is you craft flux seeds. Okay, which is flux dust and any sand. Okay, and flux dust is made by putting a flux crystal into a grinder, which we can just go ahead and do one real quick. We will. Let me just take this and put that, and then let's grab, what, 1 sand? 1 sand. So I'm just going to do this on the grindstone real quick, because I don't want to mess with power or anything. but okay, Flux dust. You can't craft it in your inventory. It has to be crafted on the bigger crafting table. But what you do is you do this, and then it will make 3 Flux seeds. Okay. Now, it takes 12 hours of real time to grow these. You have to throw them in a puddle of water, all right? And they will grow over time and turn into pure Flux crystals. It would normally take 12 hours of real time for that to happen. However, you can accelerate that. We already done? Oh, nice. They made all my diamond chipsets. I also upgraded my energy cell all the way to resonant, which means it can now hold 17 or 7.75 million RF in it, which is more, I think, than the entire capacity of my base so far. But that's important. So what you can do is you make these crystal growth accelerators, and you're going to need 5 of them, right? Because you have to fully surround the puddle of water with them. And also, they can't be charged by normal means. Flux is not, that's weird. Give it a minute and it should update. There we go. There's definitely lag in the system if that's happening. Flux is not forge compatible, so you need to use the ME glass cables that transmit Flux. To translate it, you're going to need this block right here, the energy acceptor from AE2 Unofficial Extended Life. This will convert any forge energy, compatible energy, into Flux. Okay, and then to wire this, I just made a ring around here, like a ring of 8, and then I went down 1 and over 1 to plug into the bottom of this one, because they have to plug into the bottoms. They don't plug into the sides. I'm pretty sure that's true. Yeah, that's true. You can see it's not plugged into the side there. They only go into the bottom. So this is now powered, and they require energy. Yeah, there's definitely some kind of latency in this world that's happening, where there's a delay. That's kind of weird. Anyway, what you do is you do this, and they'll start to flicker on. They should. Yeah, there they go. They're charging. And you can also see like little crackles of purple energy. This slowly spends power over time to do it, but you throw the Flux seeds in there, and the crystal growth accelerators will cut this down from like 12 hours to like 3 minutes, okay? And we'll wait for that to grow, but I just wanted to show you how to do this, okay? That's just a demonstration. The crafting core, by the way, is just a way to multi-craft things. It's part of extended crafting, and there's things that can only be crafted on it, like, for instance, the Necronomicon, which we will be making in a moment. Yes, that Necronomicon. We're making the Necronomicon. Don't worry, I assure you, it's perfectly safe. Anyway, as you can see, I've got some stuff laid out here. These are our goals in the immediate term, which is we need to make woots. This is the woot stuff to make Stygian iron. And then this is to make the Tome of Alchemy. Now, I didn't have much problem with most of these. However, I will point out that if you need a slime crystal, slime pearl, excuse me, it drops from slimes, along with spellbooks, ruined spellbooks, and slime balls. To find slimes, if you're having trouble finding them, I made a slimealizer, which is... Why is that not... Well, let me just look up what it's called exactly. What exactly are you called? Sorry, is it in my... You know what? I know how to find it. We'll just do this. Because it's one of the things that's craftable with slime. Because you need a slime ball to make it. And you shouldn't have any trouble getting slime balls. There it is. Slimealizer. Okay. This is from Open Blocks, and essentially the way it works is when it's in your inventory, you don't even need to use it. If it's just in your hotbar, that ball will turn green. It'll turn green if you're in a chunk that slimes can spawn in. And if you're not, it looks like that. And it's made with 6 iron ingots, any glass pane, a slime ball, and redstone. You shouldn't have any trouble finding slime balls, because the intestines that everything you're dropping, they can... That's weird. I tried to eat bread. There's definitely some weird lag. I'm sorry. But You can use that to find slimes. You shouldn't have trouble finding slime balls because the intestines, everything you're dropping, have a chance of dropping it. So the Tome of Alkestri is from Reliquary. It is another kind of alchemy that can be done. Essentially, shift right click to activate. It will absorb any redstone and glowstone in the player's inventory. You can place it in a crafting grid with certain items to duplicate them for a cost. So you charge it with redstone and glowstone, and then you can, at a cost of some of that energy you charge it with, duplicate things. You can turn 1 sand into 33 sand. You can turn 1 iron into 2, etc., etc. Most of these transactions aren't that useful, but there is one that's extremely useful, and it's the reason we're going to want a Tome of Alkestri. Well, it can also duplicate obsidian, which is nice. But the one reason we really want it is this. For a hefty chunk of its charge, it can duplicate nether stars. Nether stars, if you'll note, don't have an EMC or a stack EMC value, so we can't make them using the Project E. We can't make nether stars using it. That means the Tome of Alkestri is the only way to dupe nether stars. So we're going to want a Tome of Alkestri because it's going to be our source of infinite nether stars. We can turn redstone and glowstone into nether stars. And since we can make redstone and glowstone with Project EMC, making the Tome just means we can make nether stars whenever we want, as long as we don't use our last one. As long as we hold on to at least one. The Tome is made from a molten core, which drops from blazes and magma cubes, a witch hat, which drops from witches, a charged Eye of the Storm, which is charged creeper drop, a catalyzing gland, a book, a slime pearl, Chilcera, it's a spider fangs, which drop from spiders, a wither skeleton skull, which drops from withers, and a nebulous heart, which drops from enderman. Now you'll notice I have everything I need here except the enderman heart. I went hunting enderman, I only found one, and when I killed him with a looting 4 sword, he did not drop his heart, so I'm kind of sad. We need to kill an enderman to find this. That may also be the problem you run into. But we're very close to making a Tome of Alkestri. And remember, Eye of the Storms can be crafted. The Holy Hand Grenade, you craft these glowing waters out of water, glowstone, nether wart, and gunpowder and glass panes. The glowing water can then be combined with a gold nugget, a catalyzing gland, and TNT to create 4 Holy Hand Grenades. And 8 Holy Hand Grenades surrounding a catalyzing gland is enough to make an Eye of the Storm. I made 3 of them because I would need 1 for the Stygian Iron, 1 for the Tome of Alkestri. There's like some staff you can make with this too. I made a 3rd one for that just in case I wanted it later. And these are also the low voltage thrusters. I've made them, but I'm not going to apply them just yet because we're going to be fighting a Shoggoth, and I might lose all of my armor. It would suck to go to all this trouble and then just lose the armor. But, have these transformed yet? Yeah, they totally have. See? That was a lot shorter than 12 hours, wasn't it? Just had to listen to me ramble for 5 minutes, and they're done. We're going to break that connection because we don't want to spend more energy than we have to. That's how you make Flux crystals. But we're close to being able to do this. All we need is to get an enderman heart, and we have to kill Shoggoths because, of course, the... where are you? We'll check the quest for this. Stygian iron is made like this, and then the cursed organic matter. To make cursed organic matter, we need Shoggoth flesh. We have everything else. The Shoggoth flesh is what we're missing. Once we have at least 1 cursed organic matter, we can dupe it with crushed emeralds and hop graphite dust, which we are capable of making. That's one of the reasons I made the giant grinder in the other room that I said I'll talk about in a minute. Because combining that with cursed organic matter dupes it. So much like what the Tome of Alkestri lets us do with stars, as soon as we get 1, we never have to craft it like this again. We can, as long as we hold on to 1 of them, we can make more of them by rubbing emerald dust and hop graphite dust on it. So that's valuable. And that'll help us get into Woot. We can start making Stygian iron then. However, that's not what we're here for. I'm here to show you guys some crafting. So first of all, now that we have pure Flux crystals, we can do a variety of nice things, including charging this up. There we go. We're slowly charging this up. Now, before we get into this, and I show you some of the things we can make that we now have, by the way, I made this. So this is an open blocks tank. That is an XP drain from open blocks, and this is an XP shower from open blocks. Here's what they do. If you stand on the XP drain, well, watch my levels. See how they're going down? This allows you to create liquid XP, liquid experience, just like that. And you can bucket that out too. if you need, because there are things that need liquid XP. Let me see. Liquid XP bucket. There's things that liquid XP can be used to do. One example, when I was upgrading this, one of the reasons I made it is when I was trying to upgrade my battery all the way to what is it? What's it called? It's resonant. When I was upgrading my battery to resonant, right? I realized I need blizz powder and blizz rods. How do I make it? Well, you can make these actually by making a fluid transposer from thermal expansion. You can put liquid XP into it and then put snowballs into it, and the liquid XP will turn the snowballs into blizz powder. Blizz powder can then be crafted with redstone and snowballs into cryothium dust, which is a thermal foundation substance that is used to craft things, including the Signalum upgrade kit, which is part of what I needed to upgrade that battery. This is how I got that, the cryothium is doing that. And likewise, I don't think there was anything especially dangerous about this one. No, there wasn't. And the Signalum. The resonant upgrade kit is the reason I built the crusher. I also built the crusher so I can make hot graphite dust to duplicate the cursed organic matter when we get it. The pyrotheum dust is pretty easy to make. It's just redstone, sulfur, and 2 blaze powder. Pretty basic, not hard. What on earth am I looking at? Sacrifice metal clump. How ominous. The other stuff, the shadow bars, the redstone, all this is pretty normal. Lumium gear. Lumium is made in the alloy smelter. You make it from tin, silver, and glowstone, either 4 glowstone dust or a glowstone block, and it'll make you some lumium. Then you can craft it into a gear, and you can use it for that. Let's go ahead and... Why on earth? We'll check his lumium gear. That'll show it. Okay. The real problem was the inderium. The inderium is made, well, if we go down here, I'll show you the hard way to make it is alloy smelter. You need inderium base and sand. And inderium base is made from platinum ingot, 4 ender pearls, and 3 lead, which sucks a lot. So, how do we get out of that? What do we do to spoof it? Well, I'll show you. You can also make inderium blend from thermal foundation. This is lead dust, pulverized lead, lead grit, pulverized platinum, and a resonant ender bucket, and that makes 4. Now, why is this recipe better than the other one? Well, it uses platinum dust is why. And we can make platinum dust. We can get it from the crusher, right? Now, remember what it said in the thing. If you look at it, it's, where is it? Really rare in the overworld, more common in the end. Crush some nickel, right? Putting nickel in the crusher has a 10% chance to give pulverized platinum. So I went mining using the mining scanner, which can be configured to look for specific things. I think I still have it. Where is it? I'm not sure where my mining scanner went. It's somewhere around here, though. Don't worry about it, but I have it. The mining scanner can scan for specific things. It's that little PDF I had. I went looking for nickel specifically, and I got 32 of them, which is half a stack. And then I threw it in there, and that gave me 2 platinum dust, which was exactly enough to make 8 inderium ingots, because the inderium blend can be cooked into, well, come on now. It can be cooked into inderium, or melted and then forged, but it's one blend is 1 ingot. So that was the quicker way to make it, in my opinion. It's also, I think it's slightly cheaper on platinum, unless I'm misunderstanding that recipe. But anyway, I was able to get 2 more platinum by grinding nickel is the point. This setup is from Immersive Engineering, the crusher. I'll go ahead and break it actually so you can see exactly how it works. But this is a multi-block from Immersive Engineering. If you check your Immersive Engineering manual, you can find out everything you need to know about these things. They're not as dangerously complicated as they look. They're pretty straightforward. But the big multi-blocks, it should be under large machines, I think. And let me just, there. Okay. Ignore the texture glitch. That's a thing that happens with the immersive engineering blocks. But essentially, this is a series of blocks that are combined. Light engineering blocks, steel scaffolding, steel fence. There's 9 hoppers up there. The redstone block. There's... I don't think there's any heavy engineering blocks used in this thing's construction. I think it's just light blocks. But this is essentially what it looks like before, right? And then to do this, you just... Hang on. There's a block you have to boop to... Why on earth is that not working? Is this in the way? Let me take the shield off. Am I not? There it is, right there. That scaffolding right there. You click on it, and it turns it. It recognizes that you have everything in the correct configuration and turns it into the crusher. Okay, and the input for energy is this socket right here. The output, it automatically pushes items out of itself when it's done, so you don't even need anything to pull them. You could just set a container there and it'll do it. And this is a redstone activatable thing. You can put a lever here to turn it on and off if you want. And that's how this works. That's the crusher. The crusher is nice because it can turn raw ores. It turns raw ores into dusts, and it can give you free ores, like that 10% chance to get platinum dust when you're grinding nickel. Also, it's worth noting, normally you cannot put the dusts that the crusher makes into a tinker's foundry and into a tinker's smeltery, and you can't smelt them in a furnace either. Oh, our rubium is done. That's nice. You can't normally do that. Normally you're supposed to make an arc furnace, which is, I believe we have a quest for that probably somewhere around here. I bet it's under manufacturing and fabrication probably. Don't tell me it's not. An arc furnace is another multi-block, just like the grinder, I guess. Wait, is it logistics and organization? No, it wouldn't be under logistics and organization. I don't think. Anyway, the point is, it's big, it's expensive, and it's hard to run. Normally, I can just show you here, actually, because the Enderium Blend, yeah, the Enderium Blend will do it. See this, the arc furnace? That's a picture of it. It's pretty big. It's a large structure, just like that one. And it'll blow through energy real fast. It's a big boy, but it can do whole stacks of ore and dusts and things and smelt them into ingots very, very quickly. It's also capable of creating alloys. You can alloy metals together in it as well. The arc furnace is a big boy construction. You're supposed to pair the crusher and the arc furnace together in immersive engineering, but because of like thermal foundation, which adds like dust and grit pulverized versions of all of these things, thermal foundation and tech reborn are the two that add all the dusts. Those can be smelted, so I think the pack developer just decided to be kind and has basically removed all of the immersive engineering dusts, or they're not really obtainable. So don't be afraid to just crush a bunch of stuff and throw it in here, because you can totally do that in this pack. You can't do it normally, but you can do it in this one. You don't need, we may need the arc furnace later, but we don't need it now. Anyway, now that I've explained some of that, we've charged this. Let's go ahead and make some magic. So first of all, let's read what it's trying to tell us. Okay. I think it was, where were you? Here. Magic is dangerous this way for your first dimensions. When doing magic, bad things may happen. Remember how I mentioned that that there's like flux and like warp and stuff associated with Thaumcraft? This is it. There's also bad stuff associated with Abyssalcraft magic too, but we're going to get into that in just a moment. This is the pack telling you about what I already explained. When doing magic, bad things may happen. In order to minimize negative effects into your world, the following order should be followed. Start with blood magic until unlocking the Ritual of Eldritch Will. This will prevent flux from building up. 2. Start Thaumcraft until unlocking sanitizing soap. This will help with temporary warp. 3. Go through Abyssalcraft, craft the Abyssal Wasteland Warp Cleanser to get you going, and automate Dreadland's Warp Cleansers. With this, permanent warp will stop being a problem. 4. Now you are protected, feel free to right-click a really scary Vishroom. When it comes to other magic mods, feel free to progress through them in whichever way you prefer. 5. The Omethal Warp Cleanser will completely eliminate the issue with warp. Okay. Click on that and say we understand.
That opens up a bunch of other things we can talk about. Now, I have to explain something about the mods that we're doing. In fact, we can do this while we're making a Necronomicon, because we'll let this cook. This is 2 rumium, 2 pure fluix, and 2 rotten flesh plus a book. So, 2 rotten flesh, 2 rumium. Did we not have a book? Let me go get a book. Anyway, we'll make this on the pedestal because we need the Necronomicon to get started with the Abyssalcraft stuff. I'll explain what I want to explain while we're doing this, but. So, like I explained a while ago, in Thaumcraft there is warp or flux or whatever you want to call it. It has a couple different names, but it's bad, right? It's like warp taint from Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k. It's like that thing in Dragon Age where people who use magic can go crazy, which isn't a Dragon Age unique thing. I think that's actually from Dragonlance. I think it's a Dragonlance thing that does that too. But the point is that's a thing in Thaumcraft. Now, can we not? There we go. Now it's making it. Crafting one Necronomicon. It acknowledges that we're making the Necronomicon now. And I'll stand back and let you watch this. But there is a plugin for Blood Alchemy. And there's our Necronomicon. Shift right click to get it. There we go. There's a plugin for Blood Alchemy called Blood Arsenal. Right. And Blood Arsenal adds a bunch of stuff to Blood Alchemy. Including some extra rituals and things that are quite strong. It adds some extra spells. One of my personal favorites is... Where are you? Hang on. I think it's called Phantom. Or no, excuse me, Animus. I'm thinking of Animus, not Blood Arsenal. Blood Arsenal is something different. I apologize. The plugin I'm thinking of is Animus. This adds some things to Blood Alchemy that are quite nice. Don't worry about the liquid antimatter. It's just a way to break a lot of blocks really quickly if you want. My personal favorite sigil here out of all the ones they add is the Sigil of Phantom Chains, which it's essentially a magic spell that's a Pokeball. It lets you catch mobs and put them in your pocket, which is pretty cool. And they look like this, Mob Soul. It'll say Mob Soul, sheep, or Mob Soul dragon, or something like that. And then you just click it to release it. It can work on pretty much anything, as far as I'm aware. But one of the things this adds is it puts in a lot of extra rituals, which are one of several ways you can use magic in Blood Alchemy. It adds a ritual called the Ritual of Eldritch Will. And what that does is... it lets you... So remember how I said that you can make this stuff right here, Lesser Tartaric Gem, it's full of will, which we harvest by killing creatures with sentient swords, right? Or any kind of sentient weapon, and it goes in here. So I can't make them yet, but a Demon Crucible, the reason I can't make them is because we need a larger Tartaric Gem for this transaction, minimum 400. We don't have any gem that can hold 400. Our current max is 254. We need to go up a step for that. But the Demon Crucible and the Demon Crystallizer... The Crucible, you put a Tartaric Gem in it, and it will drain the demonic will out of the crystal and instead imbue it into the chunk, right? Which is the physical chunk in Minecraft, right? According to the Minecraft grid, right? Which I've just turned on so you can see it. It takes the demonic will out and infuses it into the chunk, okay? And then the demonic crystallizer can drain demon will out of a chunk and turn them into crystals. These. Demon Will Crystal. Use a Demon Crucible with a Tartaric Gem and a Demon Crystallizer to get the first. Automate using a Demon Crucible fed by crystals, a Crystal Cluster, the Gathering of the Forsaken Souls, and the Kraken Fractured Crystal, all in the same chunk, which I already knew about. And you can use them to make decorative stones. They're also used to craft bigger gems. They're used as repair materials to fix any sentient tool on an anvil. You can crush them to make Demon Will Powder, which is a content tweaker thing that's not vanilla. That's something he's added to this pack. They're used to make crystallized will bullets, which is an immersive engineering thing I didn't know existed. They're used to craft a bunch of different things. Apparently they're used to make demonic steel ingots, which is another content tweaker thing that is not normal. That's for this pack specifically. You need a lot of these. So you can drain the energy out of these Tartaric gems and turn them into Demon Will crystals. What the Ritual of Eldritch Will does is it drains... Oh, we've still got some lines. They're just mostly gone. There we go. It drains the taint and warp out of a chunk and turns it into demonic will instead, which is massively OP. It's hilariously overpowered how big that transaction is. That's extremely strong. And the guy who made Animus actually admits on his CurseForge page, by the way, let me set this up, because we can make Danks as chests now. Let me have this running as well in the background while we do this. Because I wanted to test... I might do this instead of storage drawers. I just want to see what it looks like. But if we do... It's all of them, right? Hang on. Dank. I apologize. I just want this to be working in the background while I talk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do we have 8? Yeah, we've got 8. Some of these might require more pedestals, but for now, we have 8. Okay. Then we put a gold dank on it. Can you just throw it? How do you... Oh. Oh! It just happens instantly. Interesting. And this is a dank as a chest as opposed to a carryable thing. And it has that many spaces in it. So we could just do this, right? Or wait, no. Give me something that has a big stack. I'm sorry, I just want to try this real fast. If we take spruce, spruce, spruce. So this should just doop, doop, doop. Yeah, okay. So it's a dank, but it's a chest. And I believe the danks can connect to some of our more advanced storage options. So this might be our hard replacement for like all of this, all of our stuff. We might just do this instead of having crates and things. We'll see. But I wanted to try it just to see what it looks like. That answered my question. Anyway, the guy who made Animus admits on his CurseForge page, yeah, that transaction's OP. So there's configurations in the file that you can change if you don't want that for your pack. This guy, I asked the guy who made this mod pack, I asked the guy who made Meatballcraft, I mentioned it to him, and I said, hey, I'm aware of this transaction that takes place. How does that work in your pack since you have both Blood Arsenal and Animus? What are you doing, right? Like, what is it going to do? And he says, oh, yeah, about that. I made Warp way worse. Like, instead of running away from the fact that you need to have that, I've embraced it, right? So essentially, in this pack, Warp is now so bad. The accumulation of taint from Thaumcraft is so bad that you must use the Eldritch Will ritual to not get absolutely like booty blasted by warp demons. Like, if you don't want literal chaos from 40k to fly down onto your world and destroy everything you love, you need to use the Eldritch Will ritual to turn it all into demonic will instead. So I kind of like that. I like the fact that he, instead of running away from it, has embraced it. But I just wanted to point that out, that I did bring that up with him before I ever played this pack. I mentioned it to him, and he's like, yeah, you need to do that. That's the thing that has to be done. So when he's saying you can do the other mods the way you want, but I strongly suggest you do it this way to get started on this one, he's not joking, okay? We need the ability, and we're making 2 altars, by the way, because I know we're going to need more than one. But now that we have pure Fluix crystals, we can make the blood altars as well, which means we're no longer locked out of more advanced blood alchemy stuff. We're just going to go ahead and take that off the list. We don't need to see it anymore. So that's necessary, okay? And we will set up. I will set up a lab off stream, probably off recording, and show it to you later. But I just thought it was a fun thing I wanted to share. The Pedal Apothecary is another thing we need to make, so that's 2 slabs. 1, 2. 1 Mystic White Feather Petal. As you can see, I prepared a lot of this ahead of time. These, the 2 Obsidian, and the Pure Flux Crystal. By the way, I had a little bit of trouble making marble bricks. I don't know why, but for some reason, the chisel is supposed to be able to chisel the marble, but for some reason it could not. I'm not entirely sure why. I will actually show you so you know I'm not just trying to gaslight all of you into believing infinite lies from me. But if you, at least this wasn't working. I was worried it might be a latency issue. Maybe it's something that I'm doing wrong. Actually, yeah, let me do that because that'll be better for the demonstration. If you click on it, you're supposed to be able to chisel this into marble bricks. You see, it's not working though, and I don't know why you can't do this. You can chisel anything else, but this one specifically does not work. I suspect the pack developer might know about that though, because there's another weird craft tweaker thing that lets you make it. Which is if you take any stone marble and do a 9 of it, you get 9 marble bricks. Yeah, recipe up by Craft Tweaker 2. I'm not quite sure why you can't make marble bricks the normal way, but he seems to be aware of it. It's probably a bug of some sort that he hasn't sorted out yet. So right now there's another way to make it, which is to just do this. And this will make you your marble bricks, which you can then use to make your marble slabs. That confused me for a bit until I checked Craft Tweaker a little bit more closely. I think I understand why that was happening. I'm not sure. I just wanted to bring it up in case anyone gets frustrated trying to make those marble slabs. That's how I did it. So anyway, I think we've mostly covered most of what I wanted to touch on. We made the Petal Apothecary, which is the beginning of Botania. We've made the Blood Altars, which is the beginning of Blood Alchemy. We're going to need one to actually do transactions on, but the other one, the reason we need it is we're going to need to... where on earth did my Petal Apothecary go? Oh, I put it down in the world. I'm an idiot. Let's put these back in here. We're going to need one to actually do our normal stuff on, but another one is going to have to be automated to automate the creation of slates, because I am not standing there making all those slates again. I did it in one pack with a friend. I'm not doing it again. So we're automating slate production as soon as possible. Anyway, we need to get an Enderman Heart, and we need to kill a Shoggoth, and I think I've stalled long enough. A lot of this magic, by the way, I've sort of prepared ahead of time for. Bewitchment, you need a Witch's Altar to do anything, which means you need 6 of these to make a Witch's Altar. In fact, let's go get the Coquina now while I talk. Let's get the Coquina, because that's what I've chosen to make it with. You can make Witch's Altars out of a variety of substances, actually. Actually, let me do altar. Yeah, here we go. You can make them out of stone, nether brick, obsidian, coquina. I think that's how you pronounce that. Coquina. Embittered, which is brick, which is altar, which is like ice, and then scorned. Okay, you can make them out of these variety of things. They don't change. It's just aesthetic. I've never made one out of coquina, so I kind of want to do that for this pack, especially since it's the only light-colored block, and it kind of matches the sort of theme I'm going for all of my magic, being diorites with like white stone and dark wood. Part of the reason I chose that combo is because I knew ahead of time that that Astral Sorcery would be a major factor, because it's all marble stuff. So let's go get some coquina real fast. But so let's talk about Shoggoths. Okay. To talk about Shoggoths, we have to talk about Abyssalcraft. So Abyssalcraft is a Lovecraft mod. Okay. As though the fact that we are crafting the Necronomicon was not making that obvious from the start, right? So Shoggoths are a thing. I even showed them to you. They're hideous. They're horrifying looking. They look genuinely terrible. I'll give the guy credit for them. They look jacked. They look terrible. I would not want to run into one of those. Are you holding an Ender Void Shard? What on earth? Where did you get that? Where did you get an Ender Shard? Oh, look, there's a whale. I already feel bad for killing that one to get the whale fin to make the stuff. I'm not going to kill you, buddy. You're fine. You're cool. I will kill these crabs, though, because I need your bubbles. Give me your stuff. I didn't even drop it. That's right. Come throw hands with me. I like how the crabs are so beefy They actually can take the hit for a minute before they get slapped. Anyway, Abyssalcraft. Ah, there's some cookie then. So, he wanted Bane of Cannons. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, but whatever. So, he wanted the Shoggoths to be the be-all, end-all dangerous thing. And to be fair, they're very dangerous. However, as other people made mods in modded Minecraft, there slowly appeared ways to counter Shoggoths, right? But the guy who made Abyssalcraft wasn't content... Wow, how deep does this go? Jeez. Wasn't content to leave it at that because he wanted Shoggoths to be top dog, right? He wanted Shoggoths to be incredibly dangerous, and he didn't like the fact that other mods could make them cheesable. He didn't want the Shoggoths to be something that could be cheesed. Which I know some people that's really controversial to some people, but I get the idea, the design philosophy behind them. They're supposed to remain a threat. So he began changing things about the Shoggoths to actively combat what people were using to deal with them in mod packs and things. That's probably enough. 20. Let's get one more deposit, and we'll call it enough. I don't need the sand that badly. We have sand chickens, so I can just fill this back in. There, good as new. You'd never know that I ripped it up. Anyway, so he created this thing where whenever is that a mushroom ring or is that just a coincidence? That's got to be a coincidence. He started making changes to them to counter what people were using to counter them. One of those changes is total projectile immunity, which you saw me test, and it is in fact still in this pack. Arrows, anything arrow-like, including bullets or things from other arrow mods. Actually, I kind of want to do this test real quick because we're here. Can we just... My recharge on it wasn't quite fast enough. I knew that was coming. Any wizard fight is a glass cannon fight. I knew that was coming. But this is a great example of something that we can talk about. You see how I teleport back to my grave? This is fundamentally what Coriel Tombstone is. One of the things that people were using to counter Shoggoths is Tombstone mods. Okay? Because Shoggoths in vanilla Minecraft with no like changes or anything. Where's that other wizard? When you die, all of your stuff falls on the ground, right? And Shoggoths, when they travel, there he is. Shoggoths, when they travel, they leave a snail trail everywhere. They leave slime. They slime stuff, which is kind of gross. We done? Yeah, we went. Venomous touch. Any creature with an earth wand poisons it. Okay. And 2 advanced spells, an apprentice and an advanced spell I don't have. Nice. Anyway, they leave slime everywhere. And if stuff touches the slime, it takes damage. Now, the way Minecraft works, like quick Minecraft coding 101, if an item that is loose in the world takes damage, it is destroyed. Okay, and I forgot, I need to tell you about the time in a bottle too, but let's not get distracted. It takes damage. This is why throwing an item into a cactus deletes it, right? That is the reason why that works, because if an item in the world takes damage, it's gone. Okay? So he took advantage of this and made it so that when Shoggoths travel everywhere, they have a corrosive slime that deals a small amount of damage. They leave creep on the ground, essentially. And touching it causes damage. This meant if a Shoggoth killed you in a fight with it, your items in vanilla Minecraft will fly everywhere, and they'll probably land on the... the creep and be destroyed. Right? People countered this by installing grave mods into their packs, right, that had Abyssalcraft in it, because the grave puts all of your items in a gravestone. Okay, he was not a fan of this. He didn't like the fact that people were using that to counter Shoggoths. So what he did was he made it so Shoggoths also have an attack that they can spit like a corrosive ball at you, and what that does is it can break blocks, and it also damages your armor. What he did was he made it so that when I'm sorry, that's going to bother me if I leave it like this. He made it so that when instead of it shooting one corrosive ball, he halved the damage that the corrosive ball does, but he made it so that they shoot 2 balls in rapid succession. And you may wonder, well, gee, what does that change? Well, what it changes is it makes it so that when you die as in form a gravestone, if it's the first shot that kills you, the second shot will delete your grave and destroy everything inside of it because it breaks blocks. So he has changed Shoggoths to make them more dangerous to other mods that can try and circumvent them. They're also blanket immune to all magic. Magic damage is a vanilla Minecraft thing, believe it or not. It's not a mod thing, although obviously mods add a lot of ways to do more magic damage, like the literal magic wands and stuff. Magic damage is a thing in Minecraft. Evokers do magic damage when they hit you. They're blanket immune to all magic damage. They have the projectile shield that reflects bullets, arrows, or any other projectile that has to physically travel through the world. Their corrosive slime does heavy damage to your durability of your items. So they start breaking your equipment as you fight them. And there's a chance when you fight them that when they kill you, even if you have a grave mod installed, that they'll delete everything because of how they work. So, in conclusion, Shoggoths are horrifying. They're designed to troll you. They're intended to be a terror. That is the point. Some people are more or less fans of what he has done because of this. I think they're obnoxious, but I also understand that he wanted them to be obnoxious. I accept that. I get it. Some people are very... I'm sorry, that's not a whale. That's a... What are you? You're some kind of aquatic dinosaur. Oh, wait, no. That's a hippocampus. Wasn't there something else in here, though? I thought I saw some other creature in here. Maybe not. Maybe it was just a hippocampus. Whatever. There's a mad bomber guy, but I'm ignoring him. I understand why people are annoyed by it. I get what he was trying to do, although I do think it was a little bit obnoxious that he did it. Like, he went pretty far in sabotaging Shoggoths to make them a huge pain. He went to some effort to make that a thing. Come on, I've seen tons of coquina. Now there's some. I was going to say, now that I'm looking for it, I can't find any. This should be enough. Once we get this cluster of it as well, we should have plenty. Plus, I like the idea of having a sea-themed witch. And coquina is, in real life, it is. I think it's fossilized seashells is what it is. It's like a kind of stone that's made of fossilized shells. That was a very small vein compared to the last one, but we got 31. Let's see if we can get 32. Let's try for half a stack of it, and we'll stop there. So, Shoggoths are a pain, and I'm going to have to prepare when I go fight them. So what are we going to do? I'm going to strip before I fight them. I'm going to take off everything that I don't need to wear to fight them, and I'm going to go into this fight with the presumption that everything that I take into that fight is not coming back, which is painful. I would rather that not be a thing, but that is simply the reality of fighting Shoggoths. I don't know if Coriel Tombstone can counter, because there's been something of a cold war between that guy and other modders. People have made things that can circumvent the Shoggoth tomfoolery, and then he changes Shoggoths a little again. They get tweaked to counter the counters. I don't know if Coriel Tombstone tombs can be damaged. By the way, this is one of those haunted trees that I mentioned that I cut down. I cut this down because the quest told me to find one and cut it down, but you don't seem to be able to do anything with the wood. It's spooky looking, but the wood and the leaves, and they don't even seem to drop saplings either. Like, I don't know what the purpose of that tree is. I'll figure it out later, but essentially, we're going to have to take off. Really? No more coquina on the sand? It only spawns on sand. It's not going to be over there. Let's try the other beach then. So, I'm sorry, what? Why is there a... What? What? Gentlemen, can I help you? Gentlemen. Gentlemen, can I help you? I'm sorry, we were just getting invaded from another dimension while I'm trying to explain how much it sucks to fight Shoggoths. We got 3 Crimson Rites tomes, though. I mean, okay, cool. I guess. Thanks. Still not sure what those are used for. I'm pretty sure that's a plug-in for Thaumcraft, but I know very little about Thaumcraft. Anyway, it's going to suck to fight him, and I'm going to have to take off a bunch of my stuff and prepare for it. I'm not bringing anything to that fight that I'm not prepared to lose. I'm still going to be upset when I do inevitably lose things to them. But we need to get it. I'm going to have to double check before we go, by the way, and see how much Shoggoth flesh we need, because we're going to need some of it to get into Abyssalcraft. I'd rather not have to fight them multiple times, so I'll try and get the flesh that we need when we need it, right? I'll try and get it at that time so we don't have to do it again. Come on, give me some coquina. There were tons of it. I was tripping over it the other day when I was exploring, and now I can't find any. Oh, there's some in the distance. I see it. Yeah, this is the beach near spawn. Anyway. Thaumcraft. So what that guy was essentially telling us, the pack developer, I'll show you when I'm not mining coquina, but essentially the way Thaumcraft works is you have to do research to unlock things. That's how it works. There's a lens you make, and you go around exploring the world, and you examine things, and you can earn research. And it's very like a apprentice wizard learning about the world vibe, right? Which is one of the reasons it's such a beloved mod. Like, there's a reason why so many people like Thaumcraft. It's because of that aesthetic. And it's a major part of it's a major part of playing the mod to unlock all of that. However, it is admittedly somewhat grindy to do that. It kind of sucks to have to learn everything. What he is telling us to do under magic, if we go up under Thaumcraft, unlock all research. The really scary Vishroom is really scary. It unlocks all Thaumcraft knowledge at the cost of a lot of permanent warp. Having access to at least the Dreading Warp Cleanser is a decent idea. Having access to the Omathal Warp Cleanser is a very good idea. So the really scary Vishroom is made from red matter, anti-beef, anti-chicken, dreadium, and a scary Vishroom. The scary Vishroom is made by throwing a normal Vishroom into a crucible with 30 taint in it, 30 Vitium change mutation. So essentially, you eat this supercharged Eldritch Mushroom, and it unlocks all the knowledge in Thaumcraft immediately in one go. But you get a ton of permanent warp for it. So he's essentially saying what you should do is you should gain all of the ways to sync warp first, and then make this, and then just skip the grind in Thaumcraft and unlock the knowledge of everything in one shot. Just to quote Fallout New Vegas, take drugs and kill a bear, right? We need to take drugs and kill a bear to progress, to get a shortcut in Thaumcraft. So that's what that's about. So his method, the order of operations in which he is suggesting things is that. So we have our coquina. Let's go fight the Shoggoths, because we need to go do that. And it's going to suck. It's going to suck a lot. Okay. Let's sit down and have a serious discussion about what I'm bringing to this fight and what I'm not. Okay. Most of my equipment is not coming with me. By the way, I'll explain what the time on the bottle is in a second, because I don't want to get distracted again. I keep getting distracted. We'll put the coquina in there for now. Okay. Actually, take that engineer's hammer out. We're keeping that in here. I don't know if the thought that I didn't get to finish is, I don't know if Coriel Tombstone tombs can be destroyed by Shoggoths or not. I was under the impression that the tombs were considered to be indestructible, that Coriel has designed them, the Coriel developer has designed them to be an indestructible tomb. But that doesn't mean jack, especially when it comes to Shoggoths, right? That doesn't mean anything. They may still be able to do it. So what we're going to do is, I think... So normally I wouldn't bring the magic with me because the wand is pretty hard to replace. It would suck if I lost this wand. I've put a lot of time and effort into getting this wand up. However, the wand, even though it lacks the ability to damage them directly, there's two reasons I'm bringing it, and one is it can conjure blocks, which I'm very sure the Shoggoths can't break these. If they break these, I'm going to crap a brick in my pants, right? They're gonna fill my pants with cinder blocks if they can break these. These aren't even real blocks. They're not even like physically present, right? It's like a force field. You can't break these. So one, this would help me wall them in. And two, I can summon things. Now, the blaze isn't going to help me. By the way, let me press F9 and F8 to get those out of the way. The blaze isn't going to help me because blazes deal magic damage. And they're immune to magic damage. However, the zombie is actually pretty strong. And I kind of get the feeling that maybe it can serve as a distraction for me, which would help. It would be like bringing a very dumb friend to help me fight them. So I'm actually going to, for this fight, I'm going to bring the wand and I'm going to replace Summon Blaze with Summon Zombie. I don't think the blazes will help that much. They can't damage them, but the zombie could actually, I think, hurt a Shoggoth. So we're going to replace Summon Blaze with Summon Zombie. Okay. And then I am going to... I kind of want the Ring of Flying Squid because it's going to help me escape. But I can always backslash home to escape too. So I think maybe instead of risking the ring, we'll take it off. Climbing Gloves, I don't really want to lose. The Lava Charm's not going to help. Having the heart amulets to have 10 more hearts, or however many this is, will help tremendously because we're about to get into a boxing match with a monster. So I'm not going to skip that. The rupee stuff is not currently enchanted, which means this is as expendable as it's ever going to be, the rupees. Which is fine by me. I can replace that. It would suck to replace a full rupee setup, but I can do that. I'm borrowing this demonically gargantuan drum of lava for a moment to repair my tools. We want this at full durability because they do a lot of durability damage when they hit you. And I think I'll take the Sentient Sword. I did enchant it because while I was enchanting stuff, looting 4 came up on the table for it, and I was like, screw it, I'll take that. Because looting also increases the amount of demonic will it gives you, so that's super important. I want to also have sharpness on it, and I can get that on it by stripping the enchantments off of it and reapplying them, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. In fact, how much damage does that do? 8? I might leave this sword behind because that sentient sword is nice and I don't want to lose that enchantment. What can we do to... What has a damage of 8? The Abyssal Knight sword does. I'm not making an Abyssal Knight sword. Thaxium from Abyssalcraft. An Emerald sword from Actually Editions deals 9 damage. You know what? I'm going to make an Emerald Sword because that deals 1 point more damage. Or actually, wait a minute. Hold on. I say that. But I might want the looting. Let me check and see everything. First off, let me finish putting my stuff away. Let's put all this away. Let's put the shovel away. We'll put the bag of holding in here. We'll put the danks away because we don't want these destroyed. Take my Tartaric gem. Or actually, don't take it just yet. Take these satchels. Take the flower pouch. Take the bubble case, take this, take the apiarist's backpack, take the torches, take the pick too. Okay. Alrighty. Let me see what we need Shoggoth flesh for, because I might risk bringing that looting sword if we need a ton of it. Okay. We need a bunch of it to make the coin engravings, but we don't need those because the coins can be found in chests in the overworld, so we don't need them. Shoggoth flesh, witches' hats, and vis crystals can be combined with emerald ore to make corallium ore if for some reason you can't find it. 2 Shoggoth flesh, void scales, vis crystals, and alchemy crystals are used to make a shadow creature spawn egg, and we need it to create the cursed organic matter. As Necronomicon rituals, we need Shoggoth flesh, Abyssal Essence, Omathal Essence, and Monolith Stone to make a Cthulhu statue. And to make an Azathoth statue. But that's very late game, and it's different Shoggoths for that. Okay, we don't need any of this. We don't need any of that. This is all just... Okay. Looks like we don't need base vanilla Shoggoth flesh, because there's different Shoggoths in the different Abyssalcraft dimensions, Shadow Shoggoths, Omathal Shoggoths, etc. The basic Shoggoth found in the overworld. We don't need that much of it. We only really need the one. And additionally, at least for now, and you can take Rotten Flesh and Monolith Stone and make Shoggoth flesh out of it if you use liquid LP and liquid PE. Okay. PE is potential energy. That's the energy from Abyssalcraft. I'll explain that as we're going to the Shoggoths. I'll explain how that works. I think what we're going to do is we're going to make an emerald sword because I don't want to risk losing this sword. And emeralds are super replaceable because we have chickens literally laying them. So they are absolutely expendable in my eyes. Emeralds or whatever, like, sure. In fact, can we make emerald armor? We sure can. What's the value on that? So, well, the rupee set gives 85% melee damage protection, which is a big deal. But in terms of armor and toughness, it's 2 and 4. What are you? Oh, you're identical. Oh, you are identical. You just don't have the melee damage reduction, but you're otherwise identical. Oh, I'm thinking about making a full emerald set just so I don't have to risk the rupee. No, I already have a spare set of rupees from when I made the enchanting mistake because I was a moron. I was a dingus and a boomer, and I forgot how vanilla Minecraft enchanting works. We'll keep the rupee set for the 85% damage reduction. I will repair this battle sign. So essentially, what I think is going to have to happen is I think I'm going to have to turtle down and essentially let the do what I've been doing this whole time before I got the magic wand, which is I'm going to let the Shoggoth beat itself to death on my shield. And that's essentially how we're going to win. My plan is summon zombie friend to help, and then turtle down and occasionally take swipes with my sword to try and kill it. I think that's what we'll do. Okay. It is currently nighttime. Also, I'm going to need my boat. Where is my boat, actually? Is that in my bag? It should be in my bag. I'll take my boat, because we can't fly there, because I'm not taking any of the stuff. Here it is. Moved all the Tinker stuff down here. Let me get my boat back, because the boat's easily replaceable. Yeah, there's the Redwood boat. All right, Redwood boat. I'm sorry, but you're taking me on one last journey. If you are destroyed in this venture... Oh, and let me put away... So the way the time in the bottle works, by the way, is what it is you craft it, and we could make it now that we have red matter. But what it does is, for as long as it's in your inventory, and it has to be in your inventory, it can't be in a backpack or anything. You see how it's ticking up in time? What I can do is I can click this onto any machine that I want to speed up time for it, to make it run faster. And I can use eggs as a demonstration for this too. Yeah, see, we're overflowing on eggs. This is a great demonstration for this, actually. Let me just go ahead and grab a bunch of eggs. Before we leave, I can also explain how I was a dingus about these eggs too, because what I'm about to do is actually unnecessary. So we can take these eggs and we can be like, oh hey, put some of these in here and start turning them into normal eggs, right? But watch, I can do this. And now it's going much faster. See, you can spend time stored in the bottle to temporarily increase the speed of certain machines. And that's what that does. And it doesn't last forever, but it does allow you, if there's a machine that just is really slow or it takes a long time to complete its processes, you can use this to increase it. And right now what this is doing is this is a small storage crate feeding into a mechanical crafter from Extra Utilities 2. The recipe I've taught it is turn any of the hatchery chicken eggs into a normal egg. So it's converting all of these into normal eggs, and in fact it ran so fast it clogged its own output, but it's turning them into regular eggs, which is a process you can normally do just by doing this, right? You can take them and put them in your own inventory and do this, but this creates a machine that can do it automatically, so I don't have to bother with it. However, I was a bit of a dingus and I did not understand. Apparently, you can just do this. Like, you can just put these eggs directly into this machine. Like, you don't have to convert them into regular eggs. I guess it still helps because these only go up to stacks of 16, whereas regular eggs go up to a stack of 64. So it's not a completely wasted effort. But I didn't have to do it. Also, you'll notice how many emeralds we have. Look at all this EMC we have. Each one of these is 1,000,000 EMC. Each stack of eggs. It's nuts. We have so much EMC in store. Let's go ahead and deal with all these eggs before we move on. I think I am going to just put all of them in here and compress them down into normal eggs. Anyway, I just wanted to show that off. Also, before we go, and before I forget, because I will forget if I don't show you now, I have devised a way to switch, because I have us on an energy grid now. I've been using steam, water combined with coal generated from Project E back here to make our power. And we just put coal blocks in here, and then we suck water out of this endervar, and then it goes into these 3 steam dynamos, and then it goes up and into our battery wall right here that I have made. However, there are better ways of doing it, such as this magmatic dynamo, which takes magma and turns it into RF at much better rates. So I made these nesting pens that have these lava chickens. Lava chicken eggs are craftable. Lava. Okay, lava chickens. This egg is crafted from glowstone dust, 4 dark matter, and an egg, and you can make these lava chickens. They lay lava eggs. It's like a one-off bucket. So what this does is you click this into the world, and it creates a lava source block. So it's just like a disposable lava bucket, okay? Which is pretty cool. That's neat. And by training these chickens up and getting them to max 10 in all their stats, they'll be able to produce these as fast as I need them. Now, I haven't switched over to that. We're still on Steam, obviously. But this begs the question. Well, you can't just like put these into a drum or anything, right? They're like a lava bucket that disappears after it's used. So how do you get it into your system, right? How do you turn these lava eggs into stored lava that can then be piped around and used, right? So I devised this system that I'm going to show you, and then we're going to go fight a Shoggoth that can do exactly that. So there's a crate. An Ender IO item conduit is pulling from it, and you can adjust this by using this wrench, the Yeta wrench from Ender IO. It's made from 3 electrical steel and a stone gear. And the way it works is you can hide conduit facades when held. Shift right clicks to break machines and conduits instantly. Shift left click on a conduit to open conduit settings graphical user interface. So that's what you need to do is you need to shift left click to change it. You can set these. So you, like with Ender IO conduits, you don't need like this, where there's a pipe that can specifically pull, and then there's an engine that's powering that pipe. This just needs a redstone signal, which is what I'm sending it by putting this block here. But I've set it to pull. As you can see, the arrow is pointing in this direction. It's pulling and then pushing into here. For some reason, the Buildcraft pipes don't respect the eggs. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're coded technically as a kind of lava bucket. Maybe you can't move buckets of lava around in pipes. I'm not sure why, but you can't. So I needed to use an Ender IO conduit for this. But you can put them in here. It pipes them into this mechanical user. A mechanical user is another thing from Extra Utilities 2. It simulates a player clicking, is what it does, and it has different settings. Mine is set to always on, so it's redstone off, right? You apply a redstone signal to it to turn it off. It's generic right click from a random slot, so it'll do a generic right click like this. I'm doing it, but it's not doing anything. It's because I don't have anything in my item that can be right clicked, but trust me, I'm right clicking. Like right click to place the boat. See, if I put this boat in here as a generic right click, it would place the boat because that's what it's programmed to do. Then I have fluid collector from Actually Additions. This can collect fluid that's placed in front of it, and fluid can then be piped out of it. So what this does is, let me show you. If I put the lava eggs, the Ender IO pipes will move them here. The automatic placer will place them and turn them into a lava source block in the world. Then the fluid collector will collect them, and then it can be piped out and moved. Now, I will point out for the record, this isn't truly, like, ideal, Because if we watch the fluid collector, you'll notice it can't quite keep up. It does start to fill up over time. I'm not sure if the mechanical user can place like a lava source block in a place where a source block already is, which would be wasting eggs. It probably can. But if you really wanted this system to like be super effective to make sure that you're not wasting anything, I think you'll need at least 2 fluid collectors pointing at this central block instead of just 1. And that way they might be able to keep up with the placer. But I just wanted to show this to show how it can be done if anyone is going to do this. This is probably my more long-term solution to power, is I will automate the production of lava eggs and create lava, and then I will feed lava into my system through magmatic dynamos to generate power this way. I believe it is stronger than the steam turbines. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. And I could just manually insert these in here too if I want to, and we'll leave it at that for now. I just wanted to show that so you guys can see it, so you can see what I've done. We've stalled long enough. Let's go die. So I don't want the time in a bottle because I've stored up quite a bit of time in it from doing... I didn't AFK. Some people will AFK. I have not, by the way. Actually, I'll leave the experience there because it's safer there than it is inside of me. Let me put this here. Let me put this here. I didn't AFK to get that time. That time was legitimately spent exploring and building and doing microcrafting and stuff. And let me go ahead and get the book. Because again, I might die, my grave could be lost, so let's go ahead and take this Tome of Knowledge and store the XP I already have on me. This way, if I die, only a minimal amount of things are lost. Part of me isn't sure if I should bring the wands, but I think the zombie is going to be cool enough that it's worth it. See, I can summon zombies, like, at will, and they're pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try. So, one final, like, bit of information I'm gonna tell you. Never fight Shoggoths on the river. Always fight them in a swamp. You may wonder why. The answer to that question is, actually, you know what? I'm going to make one change. I'm sorry. I'm going to make one change. I am actually going to bring the squid ring and the hang glider now that I think about it. The reason is because I think because I'm going to fight him in a swamp, I'll be able to get away. The reason you don't ever want to fight Shoggoths in a river, and this is experience talking. I'm speaking from experience on this one. The knockback that their projectile has, if you shield it, if you block it, the knockback is still severe enough that we can actually teach the thing how to make a hang glider. That's crazy. That it can, if you're in the water, you won't be able to reach the Shoggoth and it'll stun lock you. The knockback is severe enough that it'll throw you. I'm actually going to just temporarily teach you how to make the hang glider, just because I can. I can always make it forget the hang glider later, but this way the hang glider is completely replaceable if I lose it. That's actually really nice. This ring of flying squid being lost would suck, but we can deal with that if it comes to it. Anyway, so you want to fight them on land. Don't fight them in the water because they'll just shoot you to death. You'll get picked to death, you'll block the shots, and it'll degrade your equipment every shot, and eventually your equipment will break, and you'll be naked in the river, and they'll tear you apart. So that's me speaking from experience, playing Sevtech Ages in a group with friends. I played the Sevtech Ages pack by Dark Osto. We had that happen. We fought Shoggoths from a river outlet and got clapped by them because of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to this one in the swamp because it's flat land. It is flat ground. So that is what we are going to do is we're going to travel all the way over here and fight them. And hopefully there we will see some better results than what would happen if you tried to fight them in the water. Do not fight Shoggoths in the water. It is a fight you will lose. That is the advice I'm giving you. So definitely try and find a place where you can lure them on land. So, pray for my soul. I stride forth boldly, but with fully justifiable fear in my heart to obtain the one Shoggoth flesh we need to continue our journey into magic. Get out of here, lily pads. Okay, go ahead and equip the shield. Where exactly is this? It's dead ahead. I'm looking right at it. Okay. And the Ring of Flying Squid is a taste of the Angel Ring to come. It is not quite as good as the Angel Ring, but it is a taste of the power that we will eventually be receiving. Okay, I can see it from here. I can see it from here. Stop. Oh, is the sun going down? It is going down. What I might do is I'm going to make a travel point here is what I'll do. We'll call it Shoggoth Fight Club. And I think we'll wait for the sun to go down, and then we will return here in the daytime, because I don't want to fight them at night. Because if we fight them here at night, other things are going to spawn and jump in and help, and that's going to suck. I don't want to do that. So actually, let's watch the sunset, because it's very pretty. Look at how pretty this place is. Are you friendly, or are you angry? I think this dude was angry. I think he's already gone. Did I kill you? Are you dead, sir? Night falls upon the world. May you have fortune without the help of the gods. If I was really smart, I would have beat up a bunch of weak creatures first. Yeah, there was a dude here, and I killed him. Okay. Let's do home real fast. I would have fought a bunch of creatures and killed them to get a divine blessing before I came here. But I'm not that smart. Ooh, you know what I can do, though? And I know I'm getting distracted, but I can eat one of the cool foods that I have, because they gave me cosmic meatballs, and they gave me the pasta with ground pepper. Let me eat one of those real fast, because that will probably, those give buffs. Indirios, no, give me pasta aligio olio peperosion, or however you pronounce that, I'm sorry. The cosmic meatballs. Give me the pasta. There we go, and that gives me speed for 40 minutes. I get 40 minutes of speed. Okay. We're very fast. It's a very spicy pepper, guys. It makes you extremely quick. There we go. Shoggoth Flight Club. All right. Let's get this show on the road. So, first of all, we summon zombies. Oh, they're getting burned because it's daytime. I should have done the fight at night. I'm a fool. I didn't think about that. Can I summon them down here? What happens if I do this? Oh, they'll go in and fight, though. Oh, that is a lot of them. That's a Sludge Lord! What is there? Why is there a Sludge Lord boss down here? I don't have time for you. That is a Sludge Lord. Why is there a Sludge Lord down here? Go, my minions. Fight. I know you burn, but... Yes! Distract them. I think I got some. I picked up one. We could leave, but I'm not going to. Monsters in the dark. There are monsters in the dark. But we do not fear them. We challenge... Oh, they did inflict warp, too. I should probably leave. This is a bad idea. My zombies are getting ripped to shreds. There is a thing in there that's spawning them. If I can reach it and break it, we could end this. Wow, that was... Oh, wait, no! We're pushing in! We're actually pushing in! Go! Go, go, go! Go, go, go! Summoner! Summoner might! Summoner power! It's this stuff, the biomass. Oh, I didn't bring a... I'm a fool. I didn't bring a thing. I didn't bring a pick. I can't break it. We were just going to leave. We're just leaving. Home. If I'd brought a pick, I could have broken through. But, okay. So, summoning zombies was the correct choice, though. Summoning zombies was baller. And we got 13 Shoggoth flesh. I call that a win. That is a strong win for us. I don't know why there was a sludge lord down there. That dude who only shows up at night that has the lure. That's crazy that he was down there. I don't know why he was there. I think he died in the scrum, though. I think he just got crushed. Okay. You, Emerald Sword, are going to be put on the wall alongside my first wooden pick, and I'm going to name you Shoggoth Slayer. So you're going in the box. Actually, no. Before you go in the box, you're getting repaired to full. Because you've earned it. I'm quite pleased with that outcome, honestly, that we managed that. Go ahead and plant that on the wall. I'll set that up later. Okay, so we now have everything we need to make our first thing. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now, actually. Let me eat the solidified essence real quick. This box is where I'm keeping all my currency, by the way, and it's also where I'm keeping my hearts. Put the Shoggoth flesh away. We may need it later. We probably will need it later. Put that away. Put that away. I'm quite pleased that we succeeded in that. Let's see. There we go. Cursed organic matter. We did it, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. Give me my time in a bottle back so time can continue to count. Let's put the boat away. That was a lot more successful than I thought it would be. We pushed in and we got some stuff. I was a little bit concerned, justifiably so. Shoggoths are quite scary. But the summoning was definitely the right choice. The summoning was for sure the correct choice on that. And I think this is right. We do that, and we do that, and then we do that, and that, and that, and that, and that. Okay. We can duplicate the cursed organic matter out now using graphite dust and crushed emeralds. Now, the cursed organic matter, the hop graphite dust is normally what you would use to make the electrode rods to run the arc furnace. You need hop graphite ingots to create these graphite electrodes, which are needed. The arc furnace can't run without these. And there's also a version of these in this pack that can be super enchanted with lime matter and more hop graphite. Doped electrode, which has unbreaking CCXXXIII, which I'm not entirely sure what number that is in Roman numerals, but it is a really big one. I think that's C is 100, right? So that's 233. Am I understanding that correctly? I'm breaking 233. I may be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but it's unbreaking to a ludicrous degree, the doped electrodes. But we don't have these, so instead this is just another thing that they can be used for in this pack. How do you make hop graphite dust? Well, that's easy. We can throw hop graphite ingots into the crusher. We can also, where is it? Yeah, the compressor can turn coke dust into hop graphite dust. And I believe we already made one of those. It's almost like I anticipated this happening. And coke dust can be made by throwing coke into the crusher. So I believe we have a compressor. Yes, the pulverizer right here. So let's go ahead and get that started, and then we can make a bunch of cursed matter. So it's 1 to 1. All right, then. Take an entire stack of our coke. And I'm going to need to borrow the battery, because that's not going to run by itself, unfortunately. Going to need to borrow that battery. There we go. It's almost, it looks like it's almost out, but the charge on this is so huge that it's still got plenty of power in it. Okay, it immediately goes up to 32, and then I just do this. By the way, if you step in there, that will hurt you. It won't instantly kill you, but it hurts quite a bit, so don't do that. And as you can see, it's already grinding and auto-outputting the coke dust. And while we wait for that, let's go ahead and grind an entire stack of the emerald as well, because I want to make absolutely sure I never run out of cursed organic matter. So, let's see. Now, the crushed emeralds that they want... can also be made by chucking this in. So I can just throw this in there too. Fantastic. Throw that in there as well, and it'll work its way to that once it gets all the stuff. By the way, I didn't show this, but remember how I said there's the XP drain and then the block? This is what the shower does. If you attach it to a tank that has this in it, and you give it a redstone signal, powering it with redstone lets you take a shower in XP, which I feel is pretty baller. Like, you've seen video game characters take showers before, right? But why do I have a pig nose? I'm sorry, what? Why do I have a... What? I would not have noticed this unless I zoomed in. But I have a pig nose. I was going to make a joke about how you've never seen a video game character take a shower in XP before and how Steve is baller. Why do I have a pig nose? Is this like because of the temporary warp I gained from the Shoggoths? Is this something they do to you? Oh no, I know what it is. I know what it is. Today's April 1st. I bet you anything one of the mods in this pack has an April Fool's joke where it gives Steve a pig nose. I guarantee you that's it. That's what it is. I was about to say, am I turning into a pig because of warp? But no, the answer is probably April Fool's shenanigans. That's why. That's probably what's happening. Fair enough. Anyway, let's go ahead and see where we're at. It's almost done grinding that, and then it'll grind the other stack. What else can we do? Ooh, I know what we need to do. Let's take some of this, 1, 2, 3, and then we need, what is it? Yeah, this. Because right now, this is the only way to make black marble, which is something that we need if we want to get into astral sorcery. We need sooty marble for this. And you can only, the only way to get it is to spend a pure fluix crystal to make some. So we've done that. That transaction's done. I guess I could make more of these danks, because I quite like this, actually. I think this might be my preferred storage solution. And we have a lot of the materials we would need to upgrade these. I might do this off screen, but I might start replacing this. Let's check the quests, actually, because since we're here, like, instead of... Because I can mess around and set stuff up for magic later, right? And I will, right? I'll make a witch's altar off screen. By the way, to make a witch's altar, you need 6 of these. And they're actually telling me to go get Kokina. Sons of Witches. Some testificates I found also practice magic. Their religion seems to be based around some sort of demonic pantheon, and by using herbs and minerals, the powers of these beings is brought into this world. Time for me to start experimenting with witchery. Any bewitchment altar, right, you can make. You need 6 of these, right, and they're made from fluix crystals, elder wood, salt, empty jars, and then 2 of the material that you want. You need 6 of them. And then when you have them, you arrange them in a 2x3, so they look like this. No. You arrange them like this, and then you take any vanilla carpet of a color of your choice and click it on the top, and it will it'll apply a tablecloth to it and turn it into a witch's altar. it will passively generate energy for bewitchment stuff that you need to do rituals and to perform magical transactions and stuff. So it's like a big multi-block battery that generates power over time. Is essentially a way you can think of it. Like I said, I'm making mine out of coquina because I've never done it before, and because I think coquina doesn't entirely conflict from a visual standpoint. I guess I could make it out of a super dark material like obsidian or scorned. And I guess to a degree that would match the vanilla enchanting table, if nothing else. But I've never made a coquina witch's altar before, and I think having like a sea witch aesthetic would be pretty cool. You do need greenery around these, like you want it near a tree or you want it near crops and stuff, and it'll generate energy faster. You can also put specific things on the table in the tune of the suites of cards, the suits or the suites, depending upon where you are in the world, what you choose to pronounce that as. Spades, clubs, or actually I think it's the old version, right? So it's cups, pentacles, knives, and wands, right? Is the suits. There's different things you can put on it to change that. We can also get into Blood Alchemy. We're almost out of time, though. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'll do a lot of the magic progression maybe off screen because it's not immediately relevant. So I also hunt down an Enderman and take his heart so I can get that Alcastry tome. But let's look at the quests. What do they want us to do? I think we're getting ready to do some advanced storage, right? They want us to upgrade our storage now is where we're going next. Okay. Better to build a base in the Void World. At this point, you may want to take a peek at the Logistics and Organization tab. The power of Fluix is great. Centralized networks can be created around a controller block, which can handle storage and transportation. In addition to this, it seems like I can embed more complex logic into pipe systems, making it even easier to manage my belongings. So it wants us to build a base in the Void World, which is fair. I think that's to help cut down on lag is why they want you to do that. And I might do that. I might clean up a lot of what I have around here. I'm not sure how to get to the Void World, but I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. To make the ME controller, you need this. Now, this looks terrible, but actually we're pretty close to being able to do this. We can make skystone blocks because that's the stuff that the meteorites are made of. Netherite is craftable. That's just the netherite ore from the nether cooked into bricks. We can make that. We have pure fluix crystals. We have the capacity to make manulin. In fact, I have a ton of cobalt and ardite stored up in already form. I've got a block of manulin and 8 ingots of it. And we also have, if I were to do Tink for Tinker's Construct to highlight, there's that lag. I've got 14 blocks of ardite, 17 blocks of cobalt, and I've got 36 and 52 cobalt and ardite. Man, I don't know what's causing this lag. I think this is one of the reasons they want you to build a base in the Void World is to cut down on lag, which I probably will. But this base isn't even that elaborate. I mean, it's elaborate from a decorative standpoint, but it's not elaborate in terms of like what we're doing. I mean, there's some chickens laying eggs over there. There's a couple of steam dynamos running, and there's like nothing else in here that's actively working. I don't know what's causing the lag, but whatever. When I figure out how to get into the Void World, I might convert this into maybe something else, storage maybe or something, and then we'll have the actual base with the machines and everything in the Void World. But they want me to make an ME controller. Can I make this energy acceptor? I need to make another one of these because that's this. And I kind of don't want to spend the one that I already have because I need it to convert things. So you know what? Let's make another one of those. And I think to do that, let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8. Let's make 8 more blocks of manulin for this process because I think we're going to need it. Go, fill that up, and that'll start turning into manulin. All of my auto pulls are turned off, so it will have time to alloy itself together. Our crushed coal and coke dust is done, so we can make the stuff. We're also very close to being able to do wireless power transmission. I've actually bookmarked what we need for it. It's so we don't need to use these wires anymore. I think it's the flux cores from Flux Networks. We need flux cores uh, and flux ducts. The flux point provides energy to adjacent blocks actively, removing energy from your flux network. Your flux network is wireless energy. Okay, it's extremely endgame from the perspective of tech mods. It's a very simple mod. It's just wireless power, but it's a very strong mod. It's simple. Its simplicity is its strength. We would make a flux network to wirelessly power things. Flux plugs removes energy from adjacent blocks and adds it to your network. And then flux points pull from your network and push them into blocks. So we would essentially have flux plugs into all of the things that we are using to generate power, and they put energy into our flux network. And then we have flux points on everything that is taking power. So essentially, we would have, just to give an example of how this would work, we could have three flux plugs on top of each of these dynamos, these steam dynamos, and they would be putting all of their power directly into the network, right? Then I could take one flux point all the way over here, it's turning into Manuelin, and just put it right on this spot where that leadstone flux duct is, and it would power the crusher from here, right? It's super strong in terms of energy. It's like one of the best things in modded Minecraft. I think it's also very lag friendly. Like it doesn't lag servers. It's pretty good on that, or at least so I've heard. It's pretty good on that. So this is where we want to go. The flux networks. We want a flux network. We're very close. I think we actually can do it right now. Making an ME controller from AE2 and running everything off of Flux networks is, I think, the next step in technology that we're taking, which gives you wireless storage options and wireless energy options. So we can just pull everything off of a tablet and also have everything run wirelessly. Very nice, very useful. That's probably where we're going with this. Let me take this, and we'll do one of these. Let me go ahead and duplicate this while we're here. Oh, right. The coke dust has to be turned into the hop dust. It can't work by itself. So we have to put it down here in the pulverizer. Or wait. The compressor is what it is. It's this block. Then it will start compressing those and turning it into that. And then we can mass replicate that and make 64 more of them right off the bat. Okay. I think what I might do, I don't know if I'll be able to do it in the time we have left, because I only want to do this for like 5 or 10 more minutes before I cut. Can we make this thing that fast? I don't think so. Because the chipsets are going to be the problem, because they take a while to make. The only thing I have that can make them right now is the assembly table, which is that thing that's got a laser. It makes them using redstone, so they're pretty cheap, but it takes time to make them. I guess what we could do is... Let me go ahead and do this. Let's do this. Where's that battery? I've got the battery on me. Let's see how the time in the bottle can handle it. If we can time in a bottle this and speed this up. So the way this works is this silicone table. This is from Buildcraft. We power the lasers. Come on, get up there. Okay, the laser's now powered. We tell the table what we want. Right now I had it making diamond chipsets. I want it to make redstone chipsets. Okay. Now it's going to use this laser, and it's slowly going to put energy into this bar. It requires 10,000 Minecraft joules. Right now we're generating 80 a second to make a chipset. Now the chipset also pops into being in real life in the world, which is why I have this vacuum chest next to it to automatically pick them up, so I don't have to be here to catch them. I think if we time in a bottle, the thing we're going to want to time in the bottle isn't the assembly table. I think it's the laser. Right? Is that the correct thing? Oh yeah, that's the correct thing, because now it's really pumping. Now we're up to 400 a second. And that didn't cost us that much in terms of time. And to make that, we're going to need... Let me go ahead and bookmark this. I don't think... We're not going to be able to do this in 10 minutes. This is going to take longer. But we'll go ahead and mark that as well. And I might make this off screen. I might set this all up off screen. So what can we do on screen that will... Playing with wizardry... Some of the creatures I've slayed seem to be holding books that appear to have magical properties. Yeah, I've noticed. By building a table to analyze them, I stumbled on the art of wizardry, a spellcasting technique based on knowledge. It seems I can discover new aspects of this art by trial and error. Try and cast spells until they make sense. What could go wrong? Around Terra, some certificates also appear to hold knowledge of this art. Some of them use it to help, others to destroy. The druids are here. This is, I think, how we get into the Betweenlands. Yes, the dark we have to make their spawn eggs. This is freaky. I don't like it at all. As I started reading the pages of the Necronomicon, I became aware of something. My destiny may be predetermined, and someone is responsible for it. No, not sainagh, the pack author. If I mispronounced that, sainagh, I'm sorry. There is an order of druids that worship those that have written the Book of the Dead, and they, for some reason, have chosen me for a task I cannot avoid. Now that I have read the pages, I know this, and I know where they come from. Those bastards will pay. So we make these by surrounding a basic scroll from Abyssalcraft with diamonds, so I can summon them and beat them up. Right. So to get into the Betweenlands, what you need to do is the Dark Druid altar. You have to assemble the key, and the Dark Druids drop it. So this is essentially make the altar, right, using all of this stuff, balls of moss, a transmutation gem from Abyssalcraft, etc. And then we can create druids and kill them to get the key pieces to open the door to the Betweenlands. Definitely a bad idea. A lead after I got... Actually, I'm reading this in the wrong order. Magic is the way to your first dimensions. A lead. After I got close to this dark monster, the same feeling I experienced whenever I was about to die came over me, and a strange, deep voice started resonating in my mind. The words were unclear, yet one of them lingered in my memory. Just one word, Necronomicon, which is the book we made. And then this, Tools of the Master Worshipper, Sackfoth's Soul Reaper Blade, the Shockwave Sword, the Ancient Helmet, Ancient Testplate, and Ancient Leggings. The Shockwave Sword and this armor, these are things from the Betweenlands. I think Sackfoth's Soul Reaper Blade is created using advanced Abyssalcraft stuff. I think. Right, and then it's telling us to go further and further into Abyssalcraft stuff. Sorcerers of the Skies. Stars hold power and a lot of it. This is crazy, but the fusion reactions happening inside the core of stars not only produce light and heat, but another type of energy as well. Magic. This astral power can travel through higher dimensions. Through these pathways, stars are connected to each other, forming real constellations. Some of these constellations hold particular properties, and I'll do my best to take advantage of them. To do that, we need to make a luminous crafting table, which is how we create, how we get into astral sorcery. There's the Sons of Witches, good or evil. Just like magnetism and gravity, the laws of nature allow for the existence of other fields, and some of them, Vis and Flux, hold magical properties. Many of the beings I have met on Terra seem to be able to use either of the two. I've yet to fully figure out the nature of these fields, but they can be used for a variety of purposes, both constructive and destructive. This is telling us to make an arcane workbench, which is how we get into Thaumcraft. To do that, by the way, you need to make... In fact, I might even do that now, because I can do it on screen. We make Salus Mundus. Take 3 types of Vis crystals and combine them with redstone dust. By crafting them with flint and a bowl. Okay, hang on. I can make that right now. And then you click it on a bookshelf to make that chest. So hang on. We need 3 types of Vis crystals. I don't think it matters. Does it have to be different? Different crystals. Okay, yes it does. So we'll take Terra because we've got a lot of that. We'll take Air because we've got a lot of that, and we'll take Aqua because we've got a lot of that. Okay. And then we need redstone. Boop. Then we need flint. So we need a bowl, right? There we go. Salus Mundus, right there. And I think you can move the workbench once you make it. I don't think that's a problem. So, do we have any bookshelves in here? I know there's bookshelves over here, but are they vanilla ones? I don't want to... I accidentally used time in a bottle on that chest, which does absolutely nothing. I've just wasted a bit of time. I need to put this away in my corner so I don't accidentally misclick it. I don't see any vanilla bookshelves. Do we have... No. Do Do we have any in the decorative box? Bookshelves. We might have to make some vanilla bookshelves, because I don't trust that with modded bookshelves. I don't think it'll work, because these are modded. Let me see. A basic oak bookshelf from Vanilla Minecraft is made from any 6 planks and 3 books. Okay. We can do that. I really want to get into Botania, because Botania is going to give us a lot of nice comfort of life things that's going to help tremendously. You go bookshelf, and then Salas Mundus. That's a pretty cool effect. Or wait, that gives us the Thalmonomicon. I thought that made the crafting table. I guess it doesn't. I guess it does this instead. You've not yet begun this research. Okay. Who would have thought that a few sprinkles of dust could have created this marvelous book? It is mostly blank, but it hints at a powerful new form of magic, thaumaturgy. Yeah, it's not going to be blank for long, not when I take drugs and kill a bear. Firstly, I will need to study the magical world that has been shown to me. For that, I will need a tool, a thermometer, the book calls it. Thermometer, thermometer. A normal crafting table won't do, however, since the magical energies I need to channel while crafting it are quite delicate. A sprinkling of Salas Mundus on a mundane crafting table should solve that. This book has taught me the proper incantation to use it, so it should be a simple matter. To keep myself on track, I will make a list of all the requirements that need to be met for the first page of each new entry. Okay, so I think, yeah, I was kind of right. You get the Thalmonomicon by sprinkling it onto the thing. To make the table, we need to do all of that again, but we need to do it on a crafting table, on a vanilla Minecraft table. Okay. And then we just take one log, turn it into 4 planks, turn it into 4 of these, and we do 1 of these, and I do that. I like the effect that it makes, by the way, of chucking the dust and it turns into its own thing. Okay, there's the arcane workbench. That's what we wanted. We have the book now too, but we're going to cheat and skip all of that by doing what the pack developer wants us to do instead. But we now have one. There we go, arcane workbench, good or evil. We are going to cut it in like now, actually. I should have cut it 2 minutes ago. But can we make before I go, can we make an Astral Sorcery table before we go? I kind of want to. Because Astral Sorcery is one of my favorite mods. So it's any marble, any workbench, and sooty marble, but we have to make it in starlight. Okay, I think the fact that it's sunset is going to save us, because I think that means, because we couldn't fast forward if it hadn't been sunset. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would have had to have quit and stopped. But I think we can actually go outside and do this right now. Actually, wait, and yeah, give me another one, because I think we're going to need 2 for this, right? Because we're going to have to craft it under starlight, right? Is how this has to go. Okay, and there's the Manulin. Go ahead and how many is this? 8 blocks. Go ahead and start pulling it out block by block. And I'll probably overhaul a lot of this house when we're done. I don't regret overbuilding the house. It's very nice to live in swag accommodations. I will continue to live in swag accommodations, but I don't know how to access the Void World. To be quite frank, I don't know how to do that. So until we figure that out, I'll continue to have my base here for now. But I think the way this has to be done is nighttime, and then we do, it was what, this, and then this. No? Any workbench. Any marble. Why are you... Oh, wait, I think I know why. Hang on. Do we have our stuff to travel? Yeah, we do. I think we need to go to a temple. which means we need to go, because the one temple I know there's a location is over here. That's an Astral Sorcery Temple. So if we go to Meteorite Mine, I think this is where we need to go, if I remember correctly, because I'm sorry, but a lot of the stuff I remember from Astral Sorcery is from mod packs that explicitly change progression, so sometimes I get a little confused. I think we have to take it here. This is what they want from us, I think. And then we go down. Here, you two zombies fight. Excuse you. Wow, you one-shot that guy. Yeah, this is how it has to go. Okay, so basically we have to do this. Come on. We have to punch a hole in the roof because it needs exposure to sunlight, which also means we have to destroy this fountain, but that's fine. Okay. And now that crystal should have direct line on the sun, or the stars, right? So is it here that we do it? Yeah, it's here. This is how we do it. I remember now. Okay, I'm not a fool. I remembered everything. I remembered how this works. So then we do this and this. Yup, and that gives us the luminous crafting table. There we go. All right. Your vision expands. You learn more about exploration, which is essentially just it telling you that that you've unlocked knowledge on the Astral Sorcery Tome, which we don't have one of those, I think, but we can make one. Anyway, that's how you do that real quick, and I think that's going to be it for me. We'll stop here. I will do some work on the base, trying to figure out how to get into this void dimension they want us to build all of our infrastructure in, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Wait a minute. There's two of them here. Wait a minute. Wait. Cancel it. Cancel that. Hold off. Everything I just told you. Ignore it. Scratch that. Give me your heart. Give me your heart. No heart. But there's a second one. Come here. This has looting 4 on it. Give me your heart. Give me your soul. I don't want him to die from reflection damage. I want the looting to affect him, which is why I'm throwing hands with him like this. Come here. Come here. Come here. No. No, he gave me an Enderman head, but I don't want an Enderman head. I wanted the heart. Are there any more? No, of course there's not. This might not be a bad place to fight them, though, because I don't think there's that many things that can spawn out here on the plateau, on the glaciers, so maybe this is not a bad place to try and come back and get them. Anyway, that'll be it for me. I got an Enderman head, which is not what I wanted, but whatever. All right, this has, as always, been Meatballcraft, Dimensional Ascension, Mary Poppins Edition. Hopefully next time we can have some more magic to show off. That's cool and will be fun. We might even go to some other dimensions. Probably not any of the cool ones, because I think it might be a little bit longer for me to get there, but we will try and maybe we'll go to the Dimension Doors dimension and watch me scream and die there, since I didn't scream and die against the Shoggoths. I screamed, but I didn't die. Don't worry, the Dimension Doors dimension will definitely kill me if the Shoggoths don't. But this has been Meatballcraft Dimensional Ascension Mary Poppins Edition, and I am going to unfold my umbrella and float away into the sunset. Good night, dear listeners. Good night.